Yo, what's up, everybody? We got a another week one matchup from Group B. We have two new teams, Peanut Butter and Jelly and Ice Wall, that are currently they're playing their second game right now, but um, they're about they're about 11 minutes in, so I think we might be able to just slowly catch up to them and cover the series. I wanted a chance to have every team be showcased this week one, just so we can show them some love, and also to um, also just to keep the good streams going, the good vibes going. So let's start off. Kipo was nice enough to send me the draft over for game one, so here is the game one draft here. So, just kind of talking about this a little bit. Uh, you got Cassante versus Malphite in the top lane. Looks like um, Skarner versus Zac jungle. We got a traditional Syndra versus Orianna mid, and looks like a Corki Thresh versus Caitlyn Blitzcrank bot lane. So um, overall, I think it's a fairly standard draft. The two hook champs are just gonna have to prioritize targets, but there's still a lot of beef in front of them. So looks like a traditional like front to back comp from both sides, and we'll see how this goes. So let's load in to game one here, and see what these teams got in store for us. Oh, this features probably my favorite tag in the game in Bard Pit. I laughed way harder than I should have when I first originally seen that, and it still makes me smile. Like, is a fantastic tag, Bard Pit. If he does not play Bard this season, we will all be disappointed. So, and then just to kind of go over this, so these two teams are the third seed in Group B. So let's see which team ends up starting off with a win here. So good. Get myself something to drink.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
How we see what looks to be just a standard level 1.
30 seconds
Nothing
until
too
minions
major here.
spawn.
I overall like both comps. I think Red Side comp, I believe that is Team Icewall, drafted a lot of really good ball deliveries, and also like even Blitzcrank can deliver them to the Orianna ball for the Shockwave. So I really like that, and the fact that
Minions have spawned.
the fact that Blue Side comp's pretty short ranged. I think Orianna has a chance of having like a really good solid game here. If anybody else is checking this out, let me know how the frame rate went. I know last time I was on Twitch, um, it was pretty difficult, but I don't have anybody like spectating through Discord, so I don't expect it to be too bad. Sweet, thank you, Soup. So, got a big old tank battle up top here. I would expect Cassante to probably push around Malphite a little bit until he gets tanky here. Malphite taking the D ring here, so he's just kind of looking to Q poke. Got an early level 2 coming out of this bot lane of Thresh Corki. We have Kipo getting a lot of good poke here on 4th Law. So, Sante pushing in quite a bit up in CS. We'll see if Malphite can CS under his turret quite well. Zach's got a touch more tempo than Skarner right now. They're both transitioning well. But Zach's going to have a really good idea where Skarner is at with this ward on the blue buff. Yeah, that is Ice Wall on the red side, PB&J on blue side for this game 1. There we go. Hopefully that's enough zoomed out for you. So, looks like Jello here on this Corki's got some decent CS lead already starting up. He's up about 10. And Kipo, every time we look at this mid lane, he's getting off some decent poke here. Just kind of already see Syndra's at 18 stacks, so accelerating like very well here. So I think it's kind of Orianna's the lane to kind of determine the tempo a little bit, as long as she doesn't keep getting poked out and stacked on. She even wins like the level 6, level 7 after the first item, but once Syndra hits true damage on W via her stacks, then she starts to push back Orianna quite a bit. Oh, we have a lane gank coming in here by Ra on Zach. He ends up getting flayed out, but ends up queuing Chiwu on Thresh, and Thresh did a really good job stopping that gank from becoming more than what happened. So Thresh did have to burn flash here, so let's see if this ends up being a potential repeat. Oh, nope, now they're attacking Corki with his blitz hook here. And we had a first back plus TP coming out of Orianna here, so she's starting to fight back in this lane a little bit. Oh, nice hook here from Thresh, but they decided not to go in on it. I think that's probably smart since they had still like a decent minion wave there. But we'll see, Syndra's back in now. Definitely a lot more gold. So she ends up going tier this first back. I actually like the tier quite a bit here. I'm normally not a big Seraph's enthusiast, but I think with the fairly, I don't want to call it low damage comp, but the Seraph's is going to be much harder to cut through. So we got a hook coming in here by Thresh, and multiple hooks coming in with the exhaust burned onto Caitlyn here. But Cassante having a level 6 advantage and getting first blood here on Malphite. Big first blood. Malphite burned flashed, and so did Cassante to chase. So already like a big CS lead starting for this Cassante, so it's gonna bode well. I think whichever top side of the map gets tankier the quickest, I think we'll be able to pull the trigger on a lot of these team fights and push around the other comp. So 33 stacks here from Syndra, so a little close here to getting her first passive stack, where she can have 2 charges on her Q. guys weathering this storm a little bit more? We've seen grubs coming out by Darkhound here on Skarner here. But with those grubs being taken, that gives Icewall here an opportunity to get this Chemtech Drake. I think the Chemtech Drake's actually super massive here for Red's side, just because of Zac healing off the blobs. So, yeah, I think that was a really good take. Flash here by Blitzcrank. Decent hook here, and there's the ball delivery system we were talking about. And it looks like Syndra will fall here, and Zac ends up getting passive burnt here. So good engage here, but we have a counter engage up top with Darkhound Skarner here. Nice turnaround on the K'Sante to keep Malphite there. I'm actually surprised with the Skarner all being channeled, Malphite didn't try to ult out. So, there's two ganks coming in from both junglers here to end up getting kills for their respective squads here. Looks like we got about a 1,700 gold lead in favor of PB&J here. But Zac is up top trying to fight him off of the doubles. So, Zenma, what up? Blitzcrank causing some chaos here. Having a really good impact in this early game. Two kills going over to K'Sante. Like, this K'Sante is going to be really, really hard to take down if he gets accelerated anymore. But he's got a fully completed Iceborne Gauntlet here. So, while it is armor, this Malphite's damage is not getting increased at all since he's going tank. So, let's see, I think the next big fight here could potentially be over the second set of grubs. We'll see if Blitz ends up helping push out this lane. He might stop it back here. Nope. Just a little late on the idea, so Caitlyn ended up resetting her back, and now Caitlyn stopped back, so I think now that they see that Thresh backed, they're going to try and push this in. Which I think this is the right call here. If you push this in, then you have a back, supports on item, can run roam the grubs here. Corki having about a little over 15 to 20 CS lead here in the bot side here. Yeah. We'll see. I'm curious to see what the Corki itemization is going to end up being here. I've seen a couple different items getting pulled out. Zenma, what's up? This is a Group B matchup. The two third seeds from Group B. Icewall is on red side for this game one, and Peanut Butter and Jelly is on blue side. So Group B matchup, my friend. Group B. Zac really wanted to pull the trigger there, but just didn't have vision on a few other members. We have a decent Skarner with the Heartsteel now. For the second Grubs fight, it means he's going to accelerate pretty fast if he can get a bunch of Heartsteel stacks off this. So, overall, I think if K'Sante gets in here, this could go in favor of PB&J, but Malphite ends up making the first turn here. We got Syndra on the backside trying to fight Ori. Ori ends up ulting Syndra here. Now they're jumping on this Orianna. They're pretty low here, but Syndra ends up taking out Malphite with her dying breath here. Zach's still trying to fight over here in this back line. And I heard that Heartsteel bonk on the Orianna, so Skarner ends up getting himself a kill along with 2 assists here. And K'Sante ends up kind of running this fight over here. So all in all, that is a 3-for-1 here in favor of PB&J. But Corki does get some plates on the bottom as well, so pretty massive gold swing all in all. But we see Ori end up getting her Luden's companion. I either think you go Seraphs here, or you could potentially go Blackfire. Like, I think you're doing enough burn damage into like short range comps that I think Blackfire does have a use. But honestly, like, nothing up until you get Liandry's pen is gonna cut through this K'Sante or Skarner. I think Luden's is fine actually here now. Now that I think about it more, you got enough ball delivery here to get to the back line now. Yeah, I think Luden's okay here. We see Icewall here jumping on, forcing a fight here over this dragon. And Thresh ends up getting one shot there by the whole team. So, and that's Red Side taking the second dragon. This Earth Drake, I think, is so massive for either team. So the fact that Zach, Malphite, Blitzcrank get this third dragon, it helps their innate tanky use so much here. I definitely don't think you wanted K'Sante to get the Earth Drake either, so. We have a little bit of a scuffle here in the jungle here. Orianna's trying to do her best to chop down this K'Sante, but she's not gonna have any kill threat here for a little bit. Corki's doing his best. He looks like he's in poised position, yeah, to get this first turret here with a couple Sheen procs. And he does. He gets first turret here, so that's a little over a 4,500 gold lead for the side of PB&J. Yeah, about 4,800 now after it's all said and done. You got a pretty big CS gap coming from the top side of the map and from the AD. You got about a 2,400 gold lead from this K'Sante over in Malphite here. And in the bot side, you've got about a 1,600 gold lead. So that is a majority of their gold lead right there. This Tyr into Liandry's first by Kipo. Okay, that's interesting. Can't say I've seen that build order, but I like the thought. I see Skarner end up taking the Rift Herald here. A little slow, but he's going to end up getting it. So Rift Herald plus 6 grubs means that they're going to be able to take out any turret they want. But we have a move here by Icewall to try and stop PB&J, and a big Skarner out here, but there's no damage until Syndra end up TPing in. But now here's Syndra and Corki, so we have a really big turnaround here for PB&J. Oh, big 5-man Oriole here. That unfortunately doesn't get a kill, but it definitely stopped the advance a little bit. Oh, but Cassante is just absolutely Cassanteing all over them. So, nice try by Fourth Wall to end up trying to get a kill there. But here comes Cassante. Cassante now 5-1 with the shutdown going over to the Malphite. And Skarner ends up dropping the Rift Herald here to get this tier 2 mid down to about 40% health. So big massive fight there. Looked like it was about a 2-for-4 overall in favor of PB and J. And they're now up 10 kills to 4. And looks like about a 7,000 gold lead here. So they just keep grinding this away, especially on the back of this Cassante. Cassante ends up opening up a massive CS lead now. Malphite did get that shutdown on him, so that helps kind of get him accelerated past that first item, but he's still down a full half item here. Both mid laners are roughly about even. Bot side of the map, Corki's up a full item on Caitlyn. So this is looking like a pretty good gold lead. They can pick the fights. Okay, Skarner didn't grab the Thresh Lantern to get into the fight. He just eat in. Still ended up getting a 2-man ult. Fourth Law ends up getting a kill, and there's another big Oriole, but she just does not have the damage to tank through these tanks. Malphite tries to CC the back line and hold them off, but overall there was no damage in return when he ulted there, so we're going to give that kill over to Corki. And that ends up being a 4-for-1. They only take down the support of PB and J here. And that gives tempo for them to start up Dragon and just take more objectives across this map. There's tier 2 mid. Some damage on tier 3 potentially. That's first Dragon going over the PB and J.
Taking aim. A summoner has disconnected.
Oh, and Corki ends up DCing. Nice unstoppable there by Cassante to not get pulled in. Thresh ends up trying to just delay everybody here.
A summoner has reconnected.
And Corki decided to join the game again. Looks like there was a pause there based on the chat, but I guess the replay kind of got rid of the pauses, so that's cool. Didn't know that. I think in order for Icewall to really get back into this game, they gotta pick out either Syndra or Corki with some type of like a Zac Engage Bard Q into Oriole to really start to swing back. Like, I think this is a good fight right here, potentially, but it just feels like they have to dedicate at least Orianna to try and match the wave clear against Cassante and hope she doesn't get tower dove. Which leaves, basically, it's just up to Caitlyn, and Caitlyn can't go too far in the Fog of War to follow Zac Malphite. So, I don't, we're gonna have to get really creative with their engage here. Cassante seeing Vision on jungler taking blue buff. This creates an opportunity for PB&J to take this Baron, or at least start it up here. See if they can sniff this out. They don't have Vision on it yet. They don't see what the health is, but there's pressure there. At least gets him off of it. So, but that also gives K'Sante a chance to get this bot turret. So, I think if you're gonna pull the trigger, right here is oh, but Zac is on a ward there. And now with them going back to K'Sante, they're gonna start up this dragon again. So really, really good map movement and decision making here by PB&J. Let's see if Zac has a chance of going for a steal. I believe Zac Q reveals the Baron. So let's see if Q comes back up again, that he can take a pretty good idea of this. Oh, and Zac ends up smiting just a touch early. But flashes out from the steal. But then we seen Nitro got picked off on this Caitlyn. And here's another great Thresh hook onto Bio. Oh, that was a really, really nice predict by Darkhound. Just didn't end up working out that way. But Zac's going to get flit. Oh, had a chance of making the big flay there. Just goes a little wide, so. I think there's a chance of Orianna to ult this. She does not have enough damage to even kill this Thresh here. There's a big engage by Zac, but with no Ori ult, I'm not sure what kind of follow-up there is here. You have Syndra with a big QE here. They're just, right now, they're just using their gold lead to fight back. Right now, that is a 3 for 4 for none, potentially a 5 for 1 here if they end up taking down Malphite. That was really, really good potential for an end angle here for PB&J. So, yep, there's an ace there. Skarner dies to the minions. He takes no damage from the enemy team comp, but dies to the minions. So, it looks like PB&J aren't trying to push for an end angle here. They're just wanting the double inhib. Ooh, the Blitzcrank hook goes just a little off to the side here. There's a 4-man back. So they have plenty of gold coming in here. You got RFC done by Corki. Corki having an impressive 4-0 and 10 scoreline. K'Sante with a really solid 9-1 and 10. And yeah, looks like they can just pick and choose what they want to do here. Looks like they're going after this, be their second Air Drake here. But while we have a second, it ends up being 20 to 5 kills and a 16,000 gold lead here for the side of PB&J. 2 inhibs down. You got some spell pen coming out of Orianna. I can't necessarily say like I agree with this. I don't think she ever gets through the tanks being this far behind anyway. But she's only a level down from K'Sante. I just think Liandry's overall does a lot here. But here comes a potential one-shot coming out by Kipo here. That Thresh Hooks ends up taking out Zac here. And here comes Skarner and Corki to take out the rest of Zac's health bar here. So 2 down here on the side of Ice Wall. And Syndra's not even on complete stacks, by the way, for that one shot. But I really, really do like the Syndra build, going for an early pen. Knowing that she can't lose any tempo on damage here. We got Skarner coming in, pinning Malphite here. Malphite ends up ulting out, but ends up getting QE'd again by Syndra. So Malphite ends up falling to Corki. We got a Thresh Hook coming in just a little short here. So PB&J playing it very, very slow and methodical here, wanting to get triple inhibs. No other objectives are up, so they might look for an end angle here. You've got 6 scrubs here and all 5 guys up. So, let's see how this ends up working out for them. You got Orianna's down. Orianna with a big ult here to get the shutdown on the Skarner here. But K'Sante is just absolutely pushing Caitlyn out of this fight. and taking next to no damage from anybody here. Syndra ends up taking out Orianna, and then K'Sante's just pushing everybody else back. There's an ult there to take out Blitzcrank. So, really, really good showing here by PB&J. Alcera's shield just came back up. A perfect shield. So yeah, sorry. PB&J end up having a really, really impressive first game here. 28-6 on the kills. And ends up with just shy of a 20,000 gold lead here on the back of a very good K'Sante early game. So that is your game 1 going over to PB&J. So let's go over here to the client and check out some of this. I mean, it is an impressive scoreline, specifically from Syndra and K'Sante here. So the two solo laners for PB&J doing quite well, mainly on the back of K'Sante early. He ends up getting that first blood and never really looked back here. So Gold Graph was just completely in favor of PB&J all game. So yeah, it was even at 1 minute and then just started to go ahead there. So let's look at the graphs, look at the total damage here. Corki ends up topping on the damage charts here. It's actually impressive because I didn't feel like Corki had like the biggest impact in the game. But respectable damage coming out of Orianna as well. So really, really solid game 1 here for PB&J. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the loading screen here. Wow, it looks like they are done with game 2. So let's go ahead and download this replay. And while this replay is downloading, we are going to go over and check out the draft for game 2. That again, Kipo was super nice enough to send over to me. So very interesting draft. We have a Smolder Kog'Maw on the side of Ice Wall. I'm be kind of curious to see who goes mid, who goes top there. And Jarvan, Tahm Kench, Nami, pretty decent like peeling comp. The Jarvan feels a little out of place because he wants to go forward, but the rest of the team kind of is decent to stand their ground and kite backwards. To where on the side of PB&J you've got Mundo, Gwen, Jungle Gwen at that, and then Victor, Sivir, Lulu. So neither comp really has like the greatest amount of engage, but if Smolder Kog'Maw can get to that late game kind of area where they can chop down Gwen, Mundo quite well, Jarvan can make some stuff happen on the back line, but overall he's not going to have much kill threat with Lulu hanging around here. So I gotta talk to Kipo, see if he's excited for the Victor rework coming out. So we're going to go ahead and load into game 2. So the Smolder ends up taking Grasp, which I think is quite interesting. I don't know how I feel about that. Like, I think he's going to get outranged and poked out a little bit by the Victor. So I think Fleet Footwork is actually like super okay in this matchup.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
Because I mean, if I remember correctly, like Gwen does percent health true damage as well. So it's not like he's ever gonna get so tanky that
30 seconds until
Gwen,
minions
Victor,
spawn.
Sivir can't chop him down. And I don't think he ever gets close enough to really like trade with Victor that well. I mean, even if he gets Grass proc off, that's still Victor's Q range. So he Qs ease him back and kind of still wins that trade. Yeah. So interesting choice here by Fourth Law. And Nitro ends up
Minions have
taking
spawned.
TP Arcane Comet with D-Ring. So I believe this could be an AP Kog'Maw coming out of the bot lane here, which would be very interesting. I do like AP Kog'Maw into fairly low range comps. So Victor Sivir, I think Kog'Maw could do some decent things into that, but we'll see. He may just be using it to like poke out of the early game and still build AD. E start definitely looks like it's going to be an AP Kog'Maw. Is the frame rate still good for this game too? Just kind of asking chat here. I'm a little paranoid about that, not gonna lie. Looks good on my end. Just making sure. Oh. Nice bubble coming out here. Bot lane's trading pretty heavily. So, I feel like, I mean, Kog'Maw likes the short trades for the most part, especially his AP. Nice double hit on the E there. And we got the battle of the absolute beefcakes up top. So both top laners, for the most part, playing tanks. But Prey is not on K'Sante, so not much offensive pressure coming out from either of these top laners. I think they're just going to be super happy at just trading grass procs here. Let's kind of see. Smolder is only at 12 stacks here at about 3 minutes. Just absolutely getting poked out quite a bit here from Victor. He had an early cheater recall coming out from the bot lane of PB&J. I think is really nice overall. Started off with a call, got a longsword now onto Sivir. Junglers end up just doing a standard full clear. Nothing too eventful here. Just a touch of a gold lead coming out of PB&J. Kind of curious. Yeah, no grass procs so far for Smolder, so be curious to see how he ends up playing the rest of this lane here. We got the Prey on Mundo here, specced out with his River Ward on the Jarvan gank. So we got Kog'Maw burning the TP here in the bot lane. Believe, yeah, it looks like his bot lane is pushing away from him. Not 100% sure if he needs to commit the TP there, but I think he just wants to get them under turret and just start poking them out. Smolder is up to now is 25 stacks. I think that's going to help him out quite a bit, pushing this lane back here. Just hit it. So, start with a tier first, so that'll be nice for the mana, especially after his first back here. So, we got a kind of a trade coming out here from the PB&J bot lane. Doing their best to run down, but they're building up now a sizable CS lead into this Kog'Maw. Up about 20 CS. Might have been our first grasp check we've seen there from Smolder. Now, Phage start by Smolder. I believe that's the start of a Trinity Force, which I'm not 100% sure if that's the most optimal now. So majority of his kit's damage is now based on total AD. So stuff like Essence Reaver, BT, even IE to some degree. While his Q doesn't crit, it's still just a bunch of raw AD that help him out. I've even seen like some people going Hubris first, since it's the lethality item stacks AD. So we'll see how this ends up going. But we have a potential lane gank coming in by Jarvan here. Jarvan's not level 6. Lulu ends up having the flash heal away there. So Lulu stepping up just a little bit, getting punished for it. Another grass proc here by Smolder, so maybe he can start proccing it quite a bit here. Now that he's got Phage to give him the movement speed to kind of kite around. And here's a trade coming in from Tahm Kench onto Mundo. Oh, but here's a gank coming in here by Gwen here to get first blood here. The very late first blood, about almost 8 minutes. Might have been our latest first blood of week 1. Don't quote me on that, but seems to think that there's all of them were quicker. We have a good brush cheese here by the side of PB&J. Oh, and a great bubble coming out from Bard Pit after he ended up flashing, healing away. And Nitro tries to trade back, but the Sivir Lulu just has no issues with these extended trades. So I'm seeing a tier coming out by Kog'Maw, so I believe, yeah, this is going to be an AP Kog'Maw. We have Jarvan coming in here at level 6. There's a decent polymorph here. See if he ends up, yep, halting away the Sivir, and that ends up getting a double kill over to Raw's Jarvan here. So let's see if this Jarvan can make some stuff happen. The jungler's having a really like slow, peaceful start, but end up getting 2 kills and a single kill in first blood on the other side. So it's 2 kills to 1 in favor of Ice Wall, but they are still down about 1,500 gold here. Mundo actually starting to build up a little bit of a CS lead as well. Anybody who watched this last split knows Mundo goes exactly where he pleases. There was a bunch of Mundo games that were just really big pop-offs. Just couldn't kill this champion. Gwen doing her best to invade Jarvan on his blue buff, but Jarvan ends up auto-queuing Smite to secure it here. But Gwen ends up chasing this Jarvan more and more, and looks like Mundo's coming down to the top side of this jungle here. So I think Gwen ends up taking the Gromp away from Jarvan here to pressure him. His bio ends up sniffing out this pink ward here. Now let's check the, well, never mind, we're not going to check. Get Darkhound all-inning Ra here on this Jarvan. Ends up getting a shutdown here. So a big shutdown going over the Gwen here. That ends up being now about a 3,000 gold lead for the side of PB&J. Oh, we have a second, let's check. Smolder only having 58 stacks here, 10 minutes. Ooh, this has been a rough laning phase for this dragon. Big bubble coming out here from Bard Pit to stop Gwen's advancement on this bot lane. That sounds means Victor got an upgrade. Kog'Maw TVP coming in handy here. Sivir still ends up getting another plate. So we got Jarvan coming in, Sivir ulted out, but we got Gwen coming in here as well. Gwen's missing her ult, but is pretty strong here. They ended up kiting back this Jarvan quite well into Gwen. And this Jarvan ends up getting virtually one-shotted here. And Kog'Maw almost dies as well. So, being said, a lot of the action derived around these junglers this game. We see about a 30 CS lead coming in here for Victor. And about another 40 CS lead coming in here for Mundo. So PB&J having a really, really good laning phase overall here. Let's see if they make a play to get 6 grubs. They have another 2.5 minutes. Sorry, minute and a half, 2 minutes to make a play on these grubs. And it doesn't look like either jungler. Well, I say that, and Gwen, it looks like she's now pathing up to get these grubs here with Victor. And Jarvan's unfortunately on the top side of the map too, so he can't trade Dragon. So, as you can see, they're doing the grubs right now here. So, I think that's going to end up being, yeah, roughly 6 grubs going to the side of PB&J. So, they're doing some really, really nice map movements and rotations here for their first game of the split. But we see Jarvan kind of gave up on that and is now coming bot side to get this Ocean Drake. I think this Ocean Drake's actually pretty massive considering they're the team comp getting out-traded and poked out a little bit here. And with that lost chapter, we do see that it is an AP Kog'Maw here. So getting that Ocean Drake away from the poke comp, or from the comp getting poked on, I think is also highly underrated as well. So, and we got a all-in here by Jarvan, but Smolder ends up getting stunned here and potentially taken down by this Victor ult, but Jarvan had enough damage after Smolder called for his mom. We see an all-in here by Jello's Sivir onto Nitro here. But Nitro ends up flashing over the wall to get into safety. We see Heartsteel completed here by Mundo, but not by Tahm Kench, so Mundo going to get a little bit of a head start here on these Heartsteel stacks. Plates ends up falling here at 14 minutes. When we take a stock at that, that's about a 5,000 gold lead coming up here, while Kench ends up going ahead with a trade and using the Ghost Tech here after he ults him, but Mundo again goes wherever he pleases. Mundo ends up getting a demolish off on this top turret, and bot lane ends up taking his turret as well. So, but they're getting fought back on the where I think this Mundo is going to end up taking down Bios Tahm Kench here. We see a TP coming out here by Victor as they are doing their best to go after this bot lane plus jungler here. Lulu speeding up Victor here to kite around. You see Nitro end up falling here. Kog'Maw passive is going to get tanked up by Lulu shields. That ends up being cross map 2 for none here. Again, inside advantage for PB&J. Mundo's just end up whacking at this top turret with his briefcase. Low-key, I think, is probably the best skin in the game. If not one of the best ones here. So Victor ends up being on his Ludens and Sorc shoes. So it's going to be hard for Smolder or Kog'Maw to really push out this Victor. I think he's going to be able to return from the poke quite easily. We have a flash coming out here by Fourth Law after Gwen burned Ghost and ult, but Gwen still ends up chasing him down here. So let's see, and that ends up being Gwen taking down Fourth Law's motion on the Smolder. It's his first death of the game here. And then Darkhound forcing another flash out of Bard Pit here. And we end up seeing Rift Herald get dropped here by Gwen as well. Kind of similar to last game. We've seen the laning phase go pretty well for PB&J. They attacked the mid lane, they then dropped Rift Herald to get that mid lane turret down a little bit. So Really solid rotations here, and you even see Mundo's on his second item here. He does not care. Oh my, what damage. This Kog'Maw can't do anything being AP. See, an Ice Wall ends up trying to all in this Gwen here, and Tahm Kench ends up getting him out, but nice Jarvan ult here to lock down the bot lane. And Sivir ends up flashing out here. Lulu is going to go down here from Tahm Kench, and Jarvan gets a return kill onto Sivir for a shutdown as well. So nice return coming out here for Ice Wall. Ends up getting themselves some much needed gold back in their pocket. Ends up being 6 kills to 7 after that all transpired. And just shy of about a 7,500 gold lead for PB&J. So still comfortably in the lead, but giving some gold back to Smolder Kog'Maw, and ultimately some stacks back to Kog'Maw as well helps. But Kog'Maw still very, very far behind on his stack threshold here, and just 99 stacks. He had a very, very rough laning phase overall. Wonder if it was worth it to just send him top lane into Mundo and have Tahm Kench just absorb quite a bit of the poke from Viktor, because he can just back up and just kind of heal off of it a little bit better than, say, like most tanks. And then this Mundo just ends up tanking all of this damage here, and even has an Unending Despair completed here, so he's going to have a lot of in-combat healing. So, let's see who pulls the trigger on some Grievous Wounds on the side of Ice Wall first. Here's an all-in by Gwen on the Bard Pit here. And she ends up cutting up some sushi. And with that, Darkhound and the rest of the PB&J team have tempo for this dragon here. So that's a Mountain Drake going over to Mundo of all things. Oh, if they start stacking these Mountain Drakes, nothing kills this Mundo. Oh, nice bubble here as Nitro lands a little bit of poke and takes out Chewy. See, they caught Mundo out, but Mundo has Ghost and, well, everything else. But Jarvan ult's really big here. We got knock up. We have everything getting thrown. This Mundo will not die. Whoa. That was so much damage coming out of this Mundo. But Viktor now pushing this top lane in response to it. So I actually think Icewall had a really good trade there. Just TP'd all in the Mundo. And Jarvan's one of the few champions that can actually like lock down Mundo in the sense of the ult, especially a non-flash Mundo at that. So, yeah. Yet again, we do not see any type of Grievous Wounds coming out here on the side of Ice Wall, so I don't know if that's going to be a big issue, especially with the Riftmaker completed on Gwen. She has a lot of healing through her burst damage. And Mundo's also in combat healing as well, which it looks like he's already heading towards the Spirit Visage. Gwen ends up taking the blue buff away from the PB&J team, but here's Mundo. It looked like at one point he was like posturing to pincer them in, but Jarvan's heading forward here, forcing a flash out of this Lulu. But it looks like they're trying to all in and turn onto this Mundo here. But you got Victor TPing from the back here. So we're going to have a really messy jungle fight here. Mundo just absolutely murdering this Nami. Jarvan ends up diving into his death here. So not a great team fight picked here on the side of Ice Wall. But overall, just a really, really good response with the Victor TP and everything else coming out of PB&J. And now here they are starting the Baron. See, the only thing I can really think of that like gets them back in this game is Smolder stacks. Smolder's just at 134 now at 22 minutes. So if Smolder's a full, I would probably say 10 to 12 minutes away from being full stacks. Which is going to be hard for them to stall for that long. So we have 8 kills to 11 here. 2 dragons on the side of Ice Wall, 1 on the side of PB&J, and a 32,000 gold to 43,000. So just about an 11,000 gold lead, just shy of that, coming out in favor of PB&J. So they're looking really, really poised to start their season off with a win here against the other 3rd seed. This is the last 2 teams for Group B to actually play. Big Jarvan ult here, but he ends up dropping the walls, and Sivir flashed away anyway. So big engage here, but that's also like an engage with their carries not there. So now Darkhound's Gwen just decides to just run amok with everything. And you have Ghost and Sivir ult. Like, that is a very fast Gwen. So, all in all, it looks like this is going to be a 2-0 here for PB&J. See Ice Wall putting up a decent fight here, but overall they just don't have the damage and the wave clear to deal with it. So, a nice start to the season for PB&J. Ice Wall, I'll putting up a really good fight, and I liked a lot of things that they did, especially from the bot lane. We'll see what they can get some practice in on, and see if they can improve going forward here. So, again, that is a 2-0 series victory for PB&J here. So, yep, very similar to the Goldcraft last game. Is very favored for PB&J. You know, starting at about the same pace as well. Let's check the graphs, look at the damage here. Mundo second high in damage, ahead of Gwen and Victor. And Sivir putting in a lot of damage as well. So, yeah, really solid showing here for PB&J. Ice Wall, you know, put up a really solid fight. We'll see if they can improve going into week 2, week 3. Again, top 4 teams make it to playoffs. So, still plenty of time for teams to improve and do well and make a push for playoffs here with only a 5-game regular season. So, yeah, I appreciate you guys joining me late night here for this cast. And I don't think we have any games for tomorrow, but Saturday we do have a Group C game, and then Sunday there's a couple of Group C series as well. I think Group C is mainly playing this weekend. So, yeah, it looks like 3? Yeah, 3 series on Sunday. So, appreciate it again. I think me and Herwick are going to plan on doing our Midwest Weekly show again on Wednesdays to go over the Week 1 action. So, hope everybody has a great night, and hopefully the grind for solo queue treats you guys well.